Hey everyone! I've crafted short stories from many different places. Some came to me like whispers at night, others sparked from prompts in writing communities. Today, I want to share a story that grew from the Fellowship of the Griots. This story is called The Practice of Love. The prompt was about paper cuts, but I interpreted that as those tiny cutting remarks in a marriage that build into deeper pain. That's where the story grew from. I also explored themes of a man and his father, something that surfaces in my writing often, though I didn't realize it until recently. So, shall I read for you an excerpt from The Practice of Love? It's featured in my latest book, Beyond First Glance. This is an excerpt from the end of that story, The Practice of Love. That night, I cooked pilau first. It was Trinidad, me, in a pot. Then breadfruit and pimiento cut the way she liked. My hands moved slowly, carefully, as if the food itself were part of the answer. I didn't know when she would come to the door or if I would carry the meal to her, but I knew that I would say when she let me close, but I knew what I would say when she let me close enough to speak. That I don't want her silence. That I want to be a man who doesn't have to, that she doesn't have to mother, a partner who can bleed and stand. That I love her. That life we're living is not a performance of marriage. It is a practice. I caught my reflection in the dark window and didn't recognize the man looking back. My jaw was locked, shoulders braced for a storm I knew was coming. The heat from the stove rolled over me. I stood there, stripped of the day's pretenses, eyes fixed on the door as if willing it to open. The rice steamed, the breadfruit softened, and I waited. I heard the click of our front door easing open. When she stepped inside, the air in the kitchen shifted. She was tiny, but the smallness carried a narrative. A few soft curls slipped loose against her temples as she twisted up her thick black hair, shot through with a copper warmth high. Her face held that impossible mix of her people. I knew the sharp line in her jaw, the softness of her smile, and the fullness of her lips that I never grew tired of kissing. I couldn't take my eyes off her now, and I felt as if I was seeing her for the first time again. She didn't take another step inside or toward me. I planned a speech, but the moment I saw her, the words vaporized. I didn't wait. I didn't think anymore. I just did. I crossed the kitchen in 3 strides. She stiffened at the sight of me coming, her eyes widening, jaw softening, her breath lifting high in her ribs, but she didn't step back. I reached for her, not roughly, not pleading, just with the clarity of a man who finally understood his assignment. My hand slid to her waist, her body tensed even more, and then melted. Her forehead rested on my chest, just above my heart. A small shudder ran through her, as if she held her breath since Thursday and could finally let it out. I curled around her, arms a shelter and an apology at once. Her palms flattened against my chest. Then her fingers fisted my shirt. She pulled in a small, shaky breath. She didn't speak, neither did I. There was no sound except the soft, wet exhale she tried to hide in my skin and the bubbly simmer of the pilau behind us. I held her tighter, and in that wordless, shaking moment, the practice of our marriage started again. I hope you I accept my offering, Scarlet Yearnings Beyond First Glance. I'm Scarlett Ibis James.